Hi. Go hang out with the pillow that looks like you. Or not. What's up? Hi. Hello. Hello. Hi. That's the best I can do for a greeting. Let's eat. Got some root beer. So this is called the Angry Vegan Pizza from a place called Native Foods here in LA. I just got it delivered because I get all my food delivered. This is gonna be an excellent mukbang. Oh, by the way, we're doing a mukbang. I'm gonna eat as much as this pizza as I feel like. And we're gonna talk about diet culture, living in a world with diet culture, what it is, how it's negative. This is really good. Shit, this is good. Before I get into it, if you find yourself liking this video along the way, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have anything to say, there's a comment section below. And if you're new here and you enjoy what you're hearing and you want to check out more of my videos, like, that's cool. And then if you feel like hitting subscribe, that's even cooler. Thought I'd get that out of the way now, since we all know I'm shit at doing it at the end of these videos. My God, this is so good. I'm gonna eat this whole slice before I even start. Let's start with diet culture and what it is at its core. Diet culture is just like the pervasive presence of dieting, glorifying thinness in our culture. I mean, that's like a really, really basic and broad definition of it, but it is a really a basic, broad thing. And the reason it really, really pisses me off is because diet culture perpetuates people going on diets, obviously, and people going on diets is one of the biggest triggers for women and men developing eating disorders. So I get all uptight about it because I think it's one of the most harmful and toxic, like, cultural things, I can't think of a word, that's happened in the last few decades to our society. So diet culture is dangerous because it doesn't keep the health or well-being of the consumer in mind at all. It's all about money. These companies, they want money. They don't necessarily care about you. And this happens all the time. Like, a perfectly normal, healthy person, like me, I was once this weight and wanted to go on a diet, and did, as we all know. That's how I ended up here. After recovering from all that. But like a normal, healthy, whatever person wants to go on a diet because they're like, oh, I can stand to lose like 10 to 30 pounds or whatever their goal is, right? Or even like they're heavier and they want to lose like 100 pounds, whatever. You know, you want to go on a diet to lose weight, any diet. The Atkins diet, that literally is always the first one that comes to my mind, and I don't know why. I've never been on the Atkins diet. I don't know anybody who has, but whatever. So you go on the Atkins diet and it works because a person who is metabolically stable will lose weight if they intake less calories than they output. Sure, that, I mean, you can't argue that, that is true. However, they lose weight, they lose 20 pounds, let's say, for this example. Because these diets don't promote sustainable, long-term, healthy, like, options for, or lifestyle changes, they literally are just get thin quick scams, basically. The weight loss is almost never, ever, ever permanent. And so you gain the weight back. And instead of blaming the system and the diet that failed you, people always blame themselves. Like, oh, I fell off the wagon, it was my fault, I didn't have the willpower enough to maintain this like crazy level of restrictive eating. I am to blame, I am unworthy, I am useless, I am bad, I am fat. And all of this negative self-talk and negative energy floods their mind because they failed, quote unquote, failed this diet that they tried. And that in itself is also a part of diet culture. This just like constant negative self-talk and this like constant fat shaming and like food fear that like diets create. So then this person has gained all the way back, and then some, most likely, as is a body's natural tendency to do, as we know on this channel. And so eventually they're like, okay, well, I want to lose the weight, obviously, again, because I'm totally consumed by diet culture, me in this example. So Atkins worked for me last time, so I'm gonna do it again. And it may work a couple of times. I mean, I've done a whole video about how eventually it'll stop working and you'll gain weight on these diets. So you go check that video out if you're interested. But my point is, Atkins as a company, whether you've bought their food meal packages, their books, you're on their website giving them ad revenue, you know, you're talking to their spokespeople, whatever, They as a company are continuously making money off of you. And they don't care about your long-term success. In fact, they don't want you to have long-term success because then you'll no longer need all of their products. They want you to have short-term success and fail, blame yourself, and come back and keep coming back, because that's how companies like Weight Watchers and Nutrisystem and all of those, Jenny Craig, all of that, that's how they stay in business. And they are in the business of diet culture. And all of that could have been avoided if you, the person in the original hypothetical situation, just were like, you know what? I'm fine with the way I look and I'm just gonna work on loving myself as I am. Or if you were just like, you know what? I don't feel my best when I eat McDonald's every single day. So maybe I'll just eat it like once a week because I still enjoy it, but I don't feel my best when I enjoy it every day. And that's like something that's very sustainable and long-term and probably would yield like results in a very long period of time that you will eventually be happy with, that are sustainable. But that's not what diet culture is about. It's not about evaluating and determining your own specific wants and needs for your own body and eating intuitively and loving yourself. No, 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 no. It's anti-intuitive eating. It's restricting food, restricting calories, forcing you to exercise when you don't want to, when your body's in pain, when you can't work out anymore. And it's blaming you when you can't maintain these crazy lifestyles. And because diet culture is so pervasive in our society, it feels hard to not blame yourself when you fail, even though it's not your fault whatsoever, because there are so many other people on various tracks of their journey doing well or not doing well or whatever, and you're constantly comparing yourself to them. Or there's people in their advertisements or in online articles that they support and sponsor, or in these crazy daytime TV shows, or in any kind of ad campaign that have succeeded in the weight loss journey, quote unquote. I mean, we don't know how they got there. We don't really know if they followed this diet. Probably not. If they did, that weight loss, not sustainable. Maybe they're naturally thin people. Those people exist. Maybe they have eating disorders. That's the most likely thing. So we're constantly like confronted with what women and men should look like on our TV screens and the magazines, on the billboards, and we feel inferior when we can't achieve that body type, or when we literally have to hurt ourselves to achieve that body type. And it's just an endless cycle that can last for decades. I mean, if you guys watch my video on watching my parents exist in diet culture for my entire life, I know that this is a never-ending cycle if you don't nip it in the bud. Or if you don't you don't have to nip it in the bud. If you don't just realize it, wake up and get out of that. I haven't eaten in a while and I've been ranting. When I was recovering and I was speaking to women about their recovery, I find that it almost always starts with a diet, with the intention of losing a little bit of weight, and things go crazy. Whether you become anorexic, bulimic, orthorexic, eating disorder not otherwise specified, or just a chronic dieter, which in itself is a form of disordered eating, you're taking a toll on your body physically and mentally. Your body, it doesn't want to diet. If you never had interfered in the first place, your body would be exactly where it was supposed to be. If you were just listening to how you felt, your body would be exactly where it is. And I know because I have been successfully living like that for a few years now, since I recovered from anorexia. And now that I'm here, I know the stories of many other women who are also living their best and healthiest lives at the weight they're supposed to be in, whether that's overweight according to BMI, or underweight according to BMI, or nothing doesn't matter, because BMI is bullshit and another device of diet culture that has literally come into the medical field, which blows my mind, because if you just take one look at the history of BMI, you realize that it is not a reliable scale to determine a person's health. I have a whole video on that. Oh my god, I just swallowed a pepper. Woo! I'm getting heated from the inside out. Yeah, I forget where I was going with that. I mean, realistically, I could go on and on and on and on. I mean, our bodies don't want to be on diets. Like, that's just the reality. Like, you go on a diet, your body thinks you're in a famine, your metabolism slows down, you lose weight slower because your metabolism is slowed down. You're psychologically compensating by overthinking about food because your body is like, why the fuck aren't you feeding us properly? And as we all know, the diet culture just spins round and round and round. That's how the reason that people fail on diets and why it's not their fault is it's literally not biologically what you're supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to be putting your body through a voluntary famine when there's more than enough food around to keep you satiated. Your body thinks something is wrong, so it sends all of the signals to try and get you to eat more. That's why people fail at diets. My real point, I'll get to when I finish this. My real point of this video is, okay, that's diet culture. There's no escaping it. It is the world in which we live. How do you navigate that, knowing that it is a toxic thing? One is recognizing that diets don't work, and it's hard. That is a constant hard thing that you will have to remind yourself of, whether you've recovered from an eating disorder, recovered from chronic dieting, or not. Dieting is constantly, intentionally made to seem like a viable, a glamorous option. Even me, I know how dangerous, bad, and unsuccessful diets are. Even me, sometimes I'm like, maybe if I just go back to that life, it'll work for me this time. But I can stop myself dead in those tracks because I know it won't. But it is a constant thing that you have to remember. Dieting, it doesn't work, it's unsuccessful, it's not as glamorous as you think. Talk to one person with an eating disorder and tell me that you think it's worth being thin to live a life like that. Spoiler alert, it's not. Practicing self-love, radical self-love, and body positivity, reading up on health at every size and body positivity really helps solidify, because then you can learn and read about other people and other women who have discovered the truth and the reality and are living life in a way that is healthy and happy for them. Constantly surrounding myself with like positive media in that way, like good books or good, Instagram influencers that don't focus on diet and more focus on just loving themselves. Like, that's a really good thing, because then you're constantly surrounded by a positive message instead of a negative one, when all the negative ones will be coming at you from the mainstream anyway. You don't have to be a warrior for everybody else. You just have to be a warrior for yourself. And that's enough. Remember that you are so beautiful at your happiest. Live your best life, which makes me laugh because my boss hates that phrase currently. So I've been saying it a lot. But seriously, live your best life. I have pizza on my face, so I haven't put on makeup today. Figured that would happen. Yeah, I mean, the best way to navigate diet culture is just knowing that it exists, refraining from talking about it, refraining from talking about it with other people, surrounding yourself with positive fat activists, radical self-lovers. You want to try this pizza?
Yeah.
That one has a lot of jalapenos on it. Mario likes the pizza, hates the cheese. He's a nerd.
What's that got to do with anything?
I mean, I'm a nerd too, but at least I recognize good pizza.
You telling me Mario Giuseppe Mastromarino doesn't know good pizza?
You never call yourself by your full name.
Huh?
He won't come on camera because he's not wearing any clothes.
What?
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 What? Forget about it.
Forget about it.
I can't think of anything else I want to say about this. I feel like I talked a lot today. Well, I clearly did because I ate almost all this pizza. Thanks you guys so much for watching this video. I have started a Facebook group for all my patrons. So you can be patron for as little as $1 a month. And if you want to join my Little by Little Facebook group, kind of an eating disorder, recovery, body positive, little warrior-esque group of like-minded women and men. We don't have any men yet, but that you're not excluded. Feel free to check out my Patreon link down below with other options, including Skyping with me, emailing with me, talking more about recovery or whatever it is you want to talk about. Thanks you guys for listening to me rant today. Bye.